I think the saddest part about life under Mad King Trump is that it's not like we weren't warned. When the whole ICE situation blew up and we were watching these horrific scenes unfold every day, I thought this is what the black community was trying to warn us about during the George Floyd protests. They had already seen firsthand the brutality, the excessive use of force, and the complete erosion of the Fourth Amendment, which paved the way for the blatant racial profiling we're seeing now. But we just didn't listen. And now we have militarized ICE agents everywhere, crawling our streets and even our airports. You know, our law enforcement was emboldened in the inner city during the war on drugs, and the black community tried to warn us. Millions of them tried to warn us. But we said, that's their problem. What's that got to do with us? Well, it's got everything to do with us now. Because the black community has always been the canary in the coal mine. The problem is, we just never seem to listen.
The black Americans are silent. America is burning. Everyone is out in the streets protesting. ICE agents are reporting people. Immigrants, both legal and illegal, are liaising with American citizens to try and fight off the ICE agents. The cost of living is at a record high time. Everyone is in tears except black Americans. Black Americans are silent, and for the first time in history, the white Americans are feeling something that black Americans have always existed in. That is constant federal surveillance in the neighborhoods, spontaneous house arrests and break ins by the ICE agents, and a rather high tension environment that everyone needs to always look over their back as they truly never know who is coming after them. For black Americans, this is something that they have lived with for decades, and now they have decided to step back and let America solve its problem while they try to face their own. And for the whites, this is not sitting well with them. And you wanna know why? Kindly watch the rest of this episode while I come with my commentaries at the end of it.
I don't even know, and we are all tired of the BS in America, man. We are all tired of this clown show that we are calling America. So, y'all know where everybody's in an uproar about this woman, Renee, who was murdered in broad daylight in front of everybody while people watched, recorded, screamed, yelled, tried to help. You know what I'm saying? Whole entire time, this terror group called ICE, that we keep saying they're not terrorists, but they're terrorists. They're American terrorists on the soil. They're just standing around, not even trying to help the woman, not nothing, right? And she ends up dying, right? And then the ICE officer who did it, mind you, are these people even actually officers, or are you guys just hiring random strangers to sign up for your cult and calling them ICE? Because the man left the scene, and everybody who is a police officer or some type of branch of the police force is like, that's a no-no. We know that if when a shooting happens or something like that, we don't get in a car and leave. I'm convinced that these people who keep saying that ICE showing up in masks and all this other stuff, these are just regular people with no credentials, no training, no nothing. Because that's what you see when you watch these videos. No training, no respect. It's like watching animals go after people. So today, this woman makes a post, and I'm going to put it so y'all can see it. And she was like, now mind you, it's to the black people. Because every time something crazy happens, they always got to address the black people, right? To the black people, where's your outrage? Where's your voice for this woman? Oh, when your people die, you guys want people to be mad. But when our people are dying, when white people are dying, you guys are not mad. You guys are not sticking up. Where's your rage? Where's your compassion at? Who the hell's this lady talking to? Because where is y'all's rage and compassion for all the stuff that's been happening to black people since we've been here? Matter of fact, since y'all's ancestors came here and lie, cheat, steal like y'all do everywhere you go. Everywhere you go to every country. It is not even just America that y'all are the problem. And I hate to say this, but I'm not even talking on my ASS, man. This is facts. Check every country. Y'all are the problem. Y'all go to every country, lie, cheat, steal. Even sitting here from America, all our country does is go to other countries and lie, cheat, steal, take their resources. Call them terrorists, criminals, and everything else because you want to pillage from them. I don't understand. Where's y'all's rage at when that is happening? Where's y'all's rage at for all these years when you watched us get lynched, beat in streets? You know what I'm saying? Watched our women get choked out by cops. Are you kidding me? Watched young Emmett Till get dragged off for whistling at a white woman that he didn't even whistle at. Where's y'all's rage at? Because the thing is, y'all love to have black people's blood for your casualty, for your purposes, for your agenda and your game. But when it comes to us, nothing. We still got to shed our own blood for our own causes. Yeah. I don't understand that. And America is one of the only places where y'all want black people to be your saviors, but at the same time, y'all hate black people. We're nothing to you. We're scum. We're this, we're that. But when a situation arises, you know what I realized, right? When a situation arises, right, every group looks for black people. Is that not crazy to y'all? That every time a situation happens, right, nobody says, where's the white people at? Where's the Mexican people at? Where's the Spanish people at? Where's the Panamanian people at? Like, there's millions of people in the world, right? But every time something happens to another group of people that's not black people, the first thing that group of people gets online, gets wherever and says is, where's the outrage from the black community? Do we all, I mean, I know we are made in our Father's image. But for some reason, y'all all think that we're a black Jesus to you. But when it comes to us, y'all are the devil for us. I don't understand that logic and thinking. And for this lady who made that comment, all of us are outraged. Well, I ain't going to say all because I see a lot of nasty comments that should not be said. Y'all need to go back to your drawing board and start thinking about what your morals, your values, your respect, what you stand on. Because most of us, our stomachs are turning. And for black people, baby, we've been going through this for the longest trying to tell y'all that. Since Rodney King and everybody else before and after Rodney King, okay? But maybe, just maybe, at the same rage you're expecting from us, y'all had every time a Rodney King situation happened, every time a George Floyd situation happened, every time a Breonna Taylor situation happened, every time a Trayvon Martin situation happened, maybe if y'all had that same energy for us, baby, we'd always show up and show out for you too. But instead, here's what y'all say. Oh, they should have complied. Oh, they should have listened. Oh, it's always that group of people getting in trouble. Oh, well, had he just put his hands up, like the officer said, he wouldn't be dead. So I guess in the same breath, right, we could say all that about this lady Renee, right? And believe me, I saw some people say it. And that is not my point because all those statements are not true. We've seen people comply, we've seen people listen, and we've seen them still die. It's the fact that these people are power tripping. So when someone is power tripping, even if you're bending to their will, it still may not be enough because they're power tripping. So my point of this random thoughts of a stranger rant is stop always expecting people to be your black Jesus because we ain't never had none of y'all be a Jesus for us. And we ain't Jesus, only Jesus is Jesus. But y'all understand my point here. Stop always expecting Superman out of us when y'all keep being Lex Luthor to us. And just maybe if y'all had not sat around all this time while other groups of people went through different atrocities and you laughed at it because that's what y'all do, maybe if all this time y'all wasn't laughing and y'all was fighting and hollering and hooting with the rest of us, we wouldn't be this far into this racism, violence, heinous acts of crimes, and everything else that we got going on in America. But now that y'all are starting to feel the burn of this, because now I think y'all white people have come into the realization that you should have been coming into, that y'all are on the chopping block too. You regular white, non-billionaire people, right, that are not the 1%, y'all are on the chopping block with us too. Now you know. Now it's clear to you that you could get killed in broad daylight, that you could get killed and not come home, that your whiteness is not affording you the same privilege that you thought it had been affording you all these years. Is that the problem? Are you scared now? Because now you're in the same boat as us black people, Mexican people, all the people y'all keep calling immigrants and everything else, all of us other shades of melanated people, baby. Now you mad because you're on the chopping block too. The bells are ringing, aren't they? Ring the alarm, huh?
Why are y'all so angry? You have the White House, you have both houses of Congress, you have a Supreme Court that is completely obedient to your president. They're willing to give him unlimited power. They're willing to say that he can take SEAL Team 6 and kill anybody he wants. They were willing to affirm that. They're willing to say that ICE can racially profile anybody they want. The United States Supreme Court has said you can racially profile Latinos based on their accent or the way they look. You guys have everything you want. You have legal racial profiling. You've ended DEI. You've ended affirmative action. You get all the best jobs even if you're not qualified. You can be a Fox Weekend host and be the Defense Department's Secretary of Defense. You can be Kash Patel and be a podcaster who wants to go to Valhalla and run the FBI as long as you're conservative. You have everything. Why are y'all so angry? What the fuck are you angry about? You've banned all of our books. You've banned Black history. You banned the 1619 Project. You don't have to compete with women for jobs. You've chased them out of the military. You've chased them out of the senior positions in the Department of Defense. You've gotten rid of all the Black history in the museums. Museums are terrified. I have contacts that I'm talking to inside of the Interior Department, people who are running all of those spaces where you can go and see a Civil War memorial or something. The people who work in these places are terrified. They're afraid to tell the real history. The people who are working for the federal government are afraid to say the word Black. You guys have canceled Black scholarships. You're damn near, I guess, ready to get rid of HBCUs. Donald Trump just recently said they're not going to fund any minority serving institution. Y'all have gotten rid of that. You've gotten rid of help for Black kids to go to college. What more do you want? What are you so angry about? I go every so often, I go and lurk and look on X Twitter. Y'all are the maddest people ever. Y'all are so angry for people who have everything. Y'all said you want your country back. You have it. The rest of us are sitting back and trying to keep our peace and preserve our peace while you all are running the country. If the airlines are crashing, that's you. That's the people you wanted to run the United States government. The FBI, y'all are laughing at them on X Twitter and saying that they look ridiculous. That's your FBI. They've purged the people who made the FBI what it was. It's not what you wanted. You have your podcasters running the FBI. You have your friend from the real world running the Department of Transportation. That's what you wanted. There's no longer a gay guy there. The gay guy's gone. The gay guy's at home with his kid and his husband. He's not in charge anymore. The Department of Justice is what you wanted. It's your Justice Department that won't release the Epstein files. If you're mad about the Epstein files, you shouldn't be mad at me and the left. You need to be mad at Donald Trump. You all have the country. You run every red state like it's already Project 2025. You won't let women have abortions in Texas. They're literally dying of sepsis. That's what you wanted. You wanted women to have only 6 weeks to get an abortion in Georgia. You got it. You wanted Texas to be a petri dish and a laboratory for every right-wing, anti-black, anti-gay, anti-trans idea. And you also got rid of vaccines. Every child in Florida is now going to go to school with kids who could give them measles, mumps, and rubella and COVID. That's what y'all wanted. You now have a paradise in Florida where you can get sick, cough on people, let them die of whatever disease you're carrying. It's almost like you've got the pilgrims again that can come and cough on all the natives and take them out. That's what you wanted. You got it. You wanted Florida to be that. It's that. You wanted the United States to be Florida. It's that. But yet you all are still so angry. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't understand it. I don't mean to rant and rave, but I am genuinely trying to get to the bottom of what you all are so angry about. And I think I have a suspicion and I have a guess. What you all are angry about is that while you have gotten everything you wanted on the right, we on the other side won't give you love for it. We won't respect you for it. We won't hail you for it. We won't respect you and say, hey, we want to, have you at the Oscars. We want to fet you. We want to make you guys, we want to wrap our arms around you. You want us to embrace you. You don't just want to run us and tell us what to do and tell us what to think and tell us what to read and tell us what history we can have. You don't just want to tell us what to do. You want us to embrace you. What you really want is to sit at our table. You're mad because while you are running the country into the ground, you're destroying your own farmers with tariffs. You're destroying your own farmers by taking away their subsidies that used to go with USAID. You got what you wanted. They've ended the farm subsidies. These are the things y'all asked for. You got your big, beautiful budget. That's what you wanted. Trump gave it right to you. You got your permanent tax cut. You're still pissed because the left, the other side, the majority, we still cannot stand you. We cannot stand Christian nationalism. We don't want it. And because we will not say we want your Christian nationalism, we embrace your Christian nationalism. We like your Christian nationalism. We like you. Because we won't do that, that's why you're still mad. But guess what we're going to keep on doing? We're going to keep on being moisturized and unbothered, and we still not going to like it. We're never going to like Christian nationalism. We're never going to accept it. We're never going to be down with it. And our squad is bigger than your squad at the end of the day. We have the Boricuas. We got the Mexican Americans. They done woke up. They said, whoo, Lord, let's go ahead and go with these folks. We got the spicy whites. The spicy white folk are with us. They're with us. Right? We got the Asian Americans who've woken up and said, whoa, we better be with them. Right? Chinese Americans, they see you. Japanese Americans are like, you're going to do internment again? We see you.
South Koreans
are like, whoa, we see you. Y'all going to kick the South Koreans out. Now you're going to cry because Georgia's going to have a worse economy because you're not going to get to have the South Koreans teaching y'all to have those high-tech jobs. The South Koreans are like, oh, well, sure hate it. Africa's like, we're just going to do business with each other. We got BRICS. We don't need y'all. Tourists are like, we don't need y'all. The African Americans, the Caribbean Americans are getting together and said, yo, why are we fighting each other? Caribbean Americans are like, yo, we were y'all. We've been hip hop together. Let's go off. And you're mad at us because we do not want to be with you. This America you want, that's yours, y'all.
We're colonizers. Yes, we are. I got to be honest about it. We really are. And I know white people right now are saying, I'm not a colonizer. Oh, you hurt my feelings. Well, you are. And probably in your mindset, in your ideology, you probably do have the mentality of a colonizer because most white people do. And I'll tell you why. 500 years ago, our colonizing culture, white European culture, was born. And we set out to steal things, resources, and that were not ours. We colonized, we enslaved all over the world. We enslaved Africans. We tried to dehumanize them and tell them, manipulate them, and gaslight them by telling them that they are not equal to us, that they are as an animal, and that the only real human are white people. Oh, I don't see color. Oh, it's the black man's fault that he's in the position. Well, what about black on black crime? I mean, it goes on and on and on. You know, I mean, I could sit here all day and give you examples. All lives matter. I mean, it just goes on all day. Black people ask for justice. White people find a way to try to obscure it, to try to take away from it, to try to demean it. We are colonizers. And I say that based on our behavior, collectively as white people. That until we stop being gaslighters and colonizers, white people are on a path of self-destruction. White supremacy, the lies of white supremacy, the colonizing mentality has never brought the white man happiness, and it never will. It's toxic, dysfunctional, and self-defeating. And it's not helping us. And now there's all this white rage because when the abuser loses control, he gets angry. And then Trump was born because we had a black president. And he was perfect because he was racist. And that's what white America wanted because they're angry because they felt like they were losing control. These colonizers have to have control. And we had a black president. And everybody just shit all over themselves. White people just freaked the fuck out. Oh my God, we're losing control. We have a black president. He's going to oppress us and enslave us. God knows we're going to be whipped and lynched. This is literally, I think, some of the thoughts, the subconscious. I'm exaggerating, but in a way it's true. The greatest fear of the colonizer is all that evil, vile shit that we did will be done up unto them, us. And that's why there's so much white rage. The numbers are changing. Pretty soon, white people will not be the majority. The abuser loses control. So what do? We continue gaslighting. We continue with white rage. White domestic terrorism on the rise. The greatest threat in America. White people are enraged because they can no longer control their victims, black and brown people, the way that they want to. They're losing some of their power, some of their positions, some of their privilege. They feel threatened. So here we are, in a state of crazy, utter chaos. That's why I say the lies of white supremacy is...
Let's talk. Sometimes I forget that white people aren't as engaged with Black creators on this app and in the world as I am. So there was something over the weekend that I thought everybody was very well aware of, but I'm understanding that that's not the case. I was talking to my mom today, and she and my brother went to a protest on April 5th to protest Trump and all of the things that have been happening for the last couple of months. So she was telling me about her experience, and she said it was like a love fest. It was so nice to be with all of these people, thousands of people, and everybody signs and all this stuff. And I said to her, did you notice that there weren't many Black people there, if any? And she was like, yeah, actually, I did notice, and I was confused, and I was like, I thought Black people were really upset about him too, and I didn't understand. This is my mom talking. So I explained to her that 92% of Black women and 80-some% of Black men did what they were supposed to do back on November 5th. And they are now resting, and they are not participating in these here protests. And that there was a concerted effort for Black folks to stay home yesterday on April 5th. And to be honest, I think she's still confused about the why. But I'm working on that. But do yourself a favor and follow Black content creators here on TikTok, because you will learn so much, and you will be able to use your new knowledge to help educate the people that you are in proximity with. But yeah, white folks, if you didn't know, Black folks said, we're not marching on April 5th. We're not doing it. We're going to stay home. We're going to let white people get us out of this mess, because white people got us into this mess. The more you...
Black people want to be left alone. They don't want revenge. They don't want to replace us, as some extremist groups have said. They just want to live life in peace, the way they want to live. They want family, they want love, and they want to live in a society where they know they belong here. They want society to also know that they belong here. They want to walk out their door and not worry that they're going to be treated unfairly, or they're going to get that look like they're not welcome, or that someone's going to try to touch their hair like a zoo animal. Yes, they want they want white people to fix white problems of prejudice and ignorance and all the ways that a wrongful sense of superiority is baked into our society. Yes, they want that to change. Yes, they want acknowledgement for harms done. They don't want us to just explain things away or justify or gloss over things without really listening. But more than anything, they want to be themselves, fully express who they are, love who they are, be with their family, and live in peace. That's it.
White supremacy and racism rely on Black sympathy. Think about it, they brutalize us, criminalize us, talk down on us. And then the second that something happens to them, we are expected to be the bigger person, to have compassion, to forgive, to pray, right? But tell me where in the fuck that same sympathy is when a Black man is unalive and then called a thug, and in the media talked about his past transgressions in an effort to dehumanize him or her. When we protest, they call us violent. When we grieving, they tell us to get the fuck over it. But let one of their champions, quote unquote, fall, somehow we're the heartless ones because we're not crying and grieving with them. That's not empathy, that's manipulation. And that is how white supremacy survives, by demanding our humanity while denying theirs to us. So no, we do not owe sympathy or empathy to anybody whose platform was completely based on the oppression of us. Black compassion should not be the fuel that keeps white supremacy alive. And we need to stop expecting Black pain to come with Black sympathy.
Child, it's been a while since I've addressed the white folks. So I wrote them a letter. And it goes a little something like this. Dear white people, during the November elections, Black folks tried to ruin you. Not because you deserved it, not because we're psychic or dramatic, well, some of us are, but because we recognize patterns. We've lived under this government who use fear, propaganda, and projection to justify harming us. Baby, every time Black folks spoke up, we were dismissed. Here we were. And I want to bring to your attention that dismissal didn't happen in a vacuum. It's been reinforced century after century after century by a government narrative that taught this country that Black people are dangerous and untrustworthy, uneducated, criminal, and above all, disposable. Baby, those projections were never about truth. They were about justification. Justification to police us, justification to surveil us, justification to ignore us. Black folks have said this for generations. What happens to one group will eventually happen to others. And somehow y'all have written his story, but you haven't read history. And now look at you. Looking how you looking. As we fast forward, you're watching those same tactics expand. The same language, the same fear narratives, the same consolidation of power. And baby, this time, you're on the agenda too, because that's how fascism and authoritarianism actually work. Not through chaos, not at first, but through smoke and mirrors. An illusion of control, an illusion of safety, an illusion that you will be exempt. Many of you were okay with the way we were treated, and you knew it wasn't right, but you turned a blind eye. And baby, you fell for the illusion, not because you're unintelligent. I mean, some of you are, but because projection made it easier to distrust the warnings than to interrogate the power behind the message. And baby, let me be clear. I can't promise you that the Black community is going to help you out on this one, because then you won't learn the lesson. You won't learn it. But what I will say is this. Run that thing back. Revisit the warnings. Remember what we tried to tell you. Read the history, because history was offering you a warning on a silver platter. Baby, you chose not to listen. And now you got to learn the lesson. So we're rooting for you in this one. All right, good people. Drink your water. Stay rooted, real, and knowledgeable. And mind your black business. Happy Black History 365. And I'll see you next time.
Well, if you've watched to this end, thank you once again. And kindly don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the share button, as this will go a long way in supporting my channel. Well, in today's episode, you are seeing that white Americans are finally coming out to admit that black Americans have always been right all this time. And you'll ask yourself, why is this so? Why is it only right now that white Americans are coming to the realization that black Americans have always had their interests at heart, and whatever they have been telling them about the extent of brutality and excessive use of power by state agents was always right through all this time, despite of the fact that these individuals never decided to take these black Americans' advice. And now everything is going down the drain. The reality is slowly hitting them. They are coming to the realization that the American dream that they have always lived in, that is a government that has always protected them, making them feel special or higher in the hierarchy of importance compared to the black Americans, is now turning against them. And as you would have guessed right, it's using the same tactics that it has used for decades to suppress and oppress the black American community. And in the recent time, you're getting to see that white neighborhoods are being surrounded. There has been massive unwarranted house break-in by the ICE agents as they try to flush out the illegal immigrants who are forcefully deported back to their countries. And this is something that is slowly settling in among the white Americans, as the reality is hitting them that Trump's agenda of making America great again was going to cut both ways. And as they are coming to realize it, no one is exempted from the rule of law, as anyone who tries to come in between the rule of law and its execution is most probably going to face the brand force of the federal government. And as you've seen in the recent case, there have been a group of Americans who have gone out to protest against the ICE agents and their arrests. And these have been a majority white who we are believing that they belong to the Democrat side of party, and they have been very vocal against Trump and going out to the street to try and interfere with the ICE agents as they try to perform their supposed federal task, that is of flushing out and arresting illegal immigrants. And in doing so, you're getting to see that these individuals have gotten to a point that they are trying to use other tactics like direct confrontation with the ICE agents, to an extent that there have been recorded number of white individuals who have been unalived. And while all this is going down, there's one community in the United States that is very silent about this and withdrawn, and that is the black American community. For them, this is something that they had foreseen coming. And as things are turning out right now, they have openly come out to declare that they are not joining these protests or these anti government slogans and internet wars, as they believe that they already played their part. Well, this has come to a shocker to most white individuals, as they had expected black Americans to come out in numbers, that is, in an attempt to try and support them in protesting and picketing against these government actions that are supposedly even hurting the white community. But to their surprise, the black community has decided to be silent and has pulled away from all these kinds of attempts to try and drag them into these madness. And in doing so, you're getting to see that white individuals have been mad furious about it, even some going to the extent of going out to call out the black American communities, calling them traitors, as they are claiming that even during the time of the Black Lives Matter movement, some white individuals actually came out to support this black American community. And right now that they also need this support from the black Americans have decided to be dead silent about it. And this is not sitting well with the white individuals. Well, you can ask yourself, why are black Americans all of a sudden trying to stay out of all this fracas that is going on in the United States? Well, for them, being a marginalized and discriminated community, all that is happening right now is nothing new to them. They have always existed in a system that was racially designed to see them fail and elevate the white individual. So for them, it has always been a struggle all this while, as they have been struggling to fight against the system. And to surprise of many, they are actually becoming successful, and they have acquired the necessary skills and knowledge about the United States government, and they generally know how to work around situations like this. And for most Black Americans, they believe that once they join these protests, or once they go out in the streets to picket and protest, this will offer the perfect opportunity for the state powers to unleash the force that is in Black community and neighborhoods, something that they have always been waiting for all this time. As you all understand that the United States has a dark past with the Black American community, and it has always been preparing itself to have this engagement with the Black American community. And the Black American community, in their own wisdom, have noticed this game plan from a mile away, and have decided to retract and in doing so, they know that once they decide to join this fracas that is going on in the United States, everything will not be well with them, as the government has always been prepared to deal with them in any settings. And so for the white individuals, it is what we call the FAFO moment, as they are realizing right now that the Black activist movement were not a joke, and fighting for your basic freedom and rights on a daily basis is quite exhausting. As for the Black Americans, they are exhausted, as they still have their own problems and troubles to fight against. And going out to the street to protest on behalf of another people is not among their bucket list. And so for the white individuals, they are realizing this way too late. And this Black silence is quite disturbing to them, as they are coming to the realization that no one is coming to save them. Well, this again marks the end of this episode. Kindly don't forget to share your thoughts and ideas with me in the comment section. Thank you once again for watching to this end, and see you in the next episode.